May her judgments promote equity for all parties and dignity for every worker and employer. All who serve in the judiciary of Kenya, may their work defend truth, protect the vulnerable, and uphold the rule of law throughout the nation. We make our prayer to you, our eternal judge, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, tufanyeni maombi. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, perfected praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all world. Peace and blessings be upon the messengers and prophets of Allah. O Allah, there is no ease except what you make easy, and you make the difficulty, if you wish, easy. There is no power nor strength except with Allah. We thank you, O Allah, for everything you've done to us. We thank you for granting us the opportunity to gather here at this event and at this precious occasion. We ask you, O Allah, the Lord of all creation, to bless this gathering and give guidance to all of us in our discussions and make our time beneficial and productive for everyone present. We seek your wisdom as we celebrate this installation and assumption of office ceremony of the principal judge-elect of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. We pray that you bestow wisdom in the leadership of the judiciary, starting from the Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome, all the leaders present, speakers, and distinguished guests. O Allah, make this gathering of ours a blessed one, and our parting after it a blessing, and do not place among us any miserable or deprivation. In your beautiful names and perfect attributes, we pray to you. Amen.
We may take our seats. Asante sana, Principal Kadhi and Father, for leading us in prayer. The Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Martha Koome, the Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Philomena Mbete Mwilu, Honorable Commissioners of the Judicial Service Commission, Honorable Olwande Evelyn, Honorable Justice Anthony Murima, Honorable Charity Kisotu, Honorable Judges of the Court of Appeal, the outgoing Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Honorable Justice Byram Ongaya, the Acting Principal Judge, ELRC, Honorable Lady Justice Jemima Kelly, the Principal Judge-elect of the ELRC, Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru, the Principal Judge, Environment and Land Court, Honorable Justice Oscar Angote, Honorable Judges of the ELRC, Honorable Judges of the Environment and Land Court and the High Court, the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Winfrida Boyani Mokaya, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Labor and Skills Development, Mr. Shadrach Mwangolo Mwadime, the Deputy Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Paul Ndemo, the President-elect of the Law Society of Kenya, Senior Counsel Charles Kanjama, Honorable Registrars, Directors, as well as judicial officers present, our social partners from Federation of Kenya Employers, represented by Mr. Dickens Ouma, the Central Organization of Trade Union, represented by Mr. Bruno Otiato, and representatives from the Ministry of Labor, our development partners, including the ILO, esteemed members of the clergy, judiciary staff, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once more. I have the great honor and privilege of welcoming us all to this installation and assumption of office ceremony of Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru as Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. The office of the Principal Judge, established under Section 5 of the Employment and Labor Relations Court Act, is central to the leadership and administration of the court. Today's ceremony, therefore, marks a significant moment of transition, a change of guard at the helm of the court. And we acknowledge with deep appreciation the distinguished service of the outgoing Principal Judge, Honorable Justice Byram Ongaya, who has since been elevated to the Court of Appeal. Congratulations, Judge. Makofi tafadhali. And today, Honorable Lady Justice Monica Mbaru assumes office as the fourth Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Tafadhali makofi kwake pia. And she will join the judiciary leadership team, which forms the engine of governance within the judiciary, supporting the Honorable Chief Justice in steering this arm of government in the discharge of its constitutional mandate. So to set the stage for us this morning, in this auspicious occasion, allow me now to invite Lady Justice Jemima Kelly, who has been acting as the Principal Judge of the ELRC. Makofi tafadhali.
The Honorable the Chief Justice, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, the Honorable Judicial Service Commissioners, Honorable Judges, the Chief Registrar of Judiciary, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to ride on the protocol set by our Master of Ceremonies. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I thank all our invited guests for accepting the Honorable Chief Justice's invitation to attend the installation of the Employment and Labor Relations Court Principal Judge and for being present. The College of Judges of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, pursuant to the rules developed under Section 5(2) of the Employment and Labor Relations Act, elected Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru to succeed Honorable Justice Byram Ongaya, EBS, as the Principal Judge of the court. I confirm that the Registrar of the court duly initiated and conducted the election process in accordance with the prescribed rules in consultation with the Office of the Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Chief Registrar of Judiciary, and the Director General of the Kenya Judiciary Academy. Today's ceremony marks a significant institutional transition as the outgoing Principal Judge formally hands over the instruments of governance to the incoming Principal Judge upon the taking of oath of the office. I take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Justice Byram Ongaya, Judge of the Appeal, the third Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, for his exemplary leadership, wisdom, collegiality during his tenure. We once again congratulate him, together with the Honorable Justice Stephen Randindo, Honorable Justice Mathias Duma, and Honorable Lady Justice Lynette Dolo, on their well-served elevation to the Court of Appeal. My lady, the installation of the Principal Judge of the Court is pursuant to Rule 11 of the Rules for the election and recall of the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, which says whenever a new principal is elected, the outgoing Principal Judge where there is one, shall formally hand over the office to the incoming principal judge, who shall assume office immediately after an installation ceremony presided over by the Chief Justice or Deputy Chief Justice not later than 30 days from the date of declaration of the results. Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, and our distinguished guests, pursuant to the aforementioned election rules, the court held an election on 5th March 2026, where the PJ-elect, Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru, was elected unopposed and declared as PJ-elect by the returning officer under the rules, being Justice Dr. Smokin Wanjala, Supreme Court Judge, in his capacity as the Deputy General as the Director General of the Kenya Judiciary Academy. My Lady, the Chief Justice, I do confirm that the installation is within 30 days of the elected on the 6th of October 2017. And the third, Honorable Justice Byram Mungaya, now Judge of the Court of Appeal, is our third emeritus and who is present with us today. It is particularly encouraging to observe the continued commitment of the court to gender balance in its leadership. As you assume this important role, my lady, Justice Mbaru, I assure you of the full support and cooperation of the College of Judges, the Registrar, and all members of staff in advancing your vision and strengthening this institution. I also wish to sincerely thank the honorable judges of the court for their support and cooperation during this period I served as acting principal judge. During the transition period, your leadership, the court held its annual conference focused on labor migration and access to justice. I thank the Honorable Justice Dr. Smokin Wanjala, the Director General Kenya Judiciary Academy, for opening the conference on behalf of the Chief Justice, and the Deputy Chief Justice, Honorable Philomena Bete Mwilu, for closing the conference. During this time, your Lordship, several transfers were approved by yourself, and the judges have since reported to their respective stations. Additionally, your Lordship, we resolved the disputes related to general elections for union branches across the country, and the court worked extra hours to resolve all disputes as they arose. I want to particularly thank the State Department of Labor and Skills Development, the Registrar of Unions under the Office of the Attorney General, the unions, and the bar for cooperation in resolving these disputes timely. I also ask for continuous cooperation as we work towards resolving election disputes and the upcoming national union elections. I appreciate my colleagues for their cooperation and diligence in handling cases in their dockets during the period. I am very grateful, your Lordship, for your counsel and guidance throughout. I am also very grateful to Justice Ongaya for always being available for consultation during this time. Last but not least, I am extremely thankful to Honorable Candidate, the Registrar of the Court and his office, all staff, and their support and cooperations during the period. They worked tirelessly in consultation with the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary to ensure all planned activities during the period were funded and efficiently carried out. As I pen off, I am deeply grateful, your Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, for your confidence reposed in me through my appointment as acting principal judge. I endeavor to discharge my responsibilities to the best of my ability. I extend my sincere appreciation to the Registrar of the Court, Honorable Candidate, and your team for excellent organization of this ceremony. Please, let's clap for them. I also thank the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary for their support extended towards this event. Finally, Honorable Chief Justice, I thank you for your continued guidance and leadership to this court. I now invite us all to witness this important milestone, the installation of the fourth principal judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. Thank you.
Asante sana, my lady, Honorable Justice Jemima Kelly, Indeed, we salute you for ably steering the court during this transition period. We will now get into a brief session of remarks, and to kick us off is the President-elect of the Law Society of Kenya, Senior Counsel Charles Kanjama. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Congratulations, Senior Counsel. It was a rough one, but you are here. Karibu.
Thank you, Sophia. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, the Deputy Chief Justice, the judges of the Court of Appeal, the High Court, the Special Courts, the Employment and Labor Relations Court, and the Land Court, all other judicial officers and judicial staff present, commissioners with JSC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. It is my distinguished pleasure to be here on behalf of the Law Society of Kenya to extend our warmest felicitations and gratitude to the judiciary for all the partnership we've had, and in particular to appreciate the incoming Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Justice Monica Mbaru, and to also appreciate the outgoing Principal Judge who has been elevated to the Court of Appeal. We have worked with you. We are delighted that you have obtained this recognition and these various positions, which are a sign indeed of your competence and ability, and we look forward to working with you in your new positions. Just three things I wanted to say in the few minutes I've been given. The first is to indicate that the legal profession and the Law Society considers our continued engagement between the bar and the bench to be an important anchor of the rule of law and the process of administration of justice. We meet in the courts, we meet in the bar bench engagements, and we meet in whichever other forums provided by law, because we are all servants of justice. And we are thankful and grateful that we have, over the last 15 and a half years, together championed the values and principles of the new Constitution, the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and all the laws of the Republic. We intend to continue doing so, and so I want to extend the gratitude of the lawyers for this work that we've continued to partner in. The second thing I want to say is that, by a curious coincidence, today I also take office as the 52nd President of the Law Society of Kenya. It is a curious coincidence that we take office on the same day, Judge Mbaru, but I think this coincidence also underscores the connection between the bar and the bench. We are like two faces of the same coin. We are all servants of justice. We are all lawyers. We are trained in the law, trained to achieve justice in whatever we do. I'll tell you that for about 5-6 months, I was on the campaign trail. I went around the country. I talked to lawyers all over, and I asked them, what do you expect the Law Society to do for you? And after talking to them, I came up with a very simple manifesto that was focused on 4 key pillars. The first was rule of law. I told them that the Law Society of Kenya, under Section 4 of the Act, is meant to champion rule of law, and that we'll continue to do so. And I believe that this can only work if we continue the engagements we've had between the bar and the bench, because the bench is the foremost organ in the Constitution to champion the rule of law in Kenya. The second pillar I told them was integrity and independence. Initially, I was talking of integrity and independence as a general thing, and I later on refined, and I used to say integrity and independence of both the bar and the bench, as a recognition that we cannot pursue integrity and independence alone. The judiciary cannot pursue it alone. Those of us who are lawyers cannot pursue it alone. But if we come together and if we recognize the challenges we face towards integrity in the administration of justice space and in the country as a whole, we can truly make progress. And independence is a prerequisite for that fight for integrity. So this was my second pillar. And my third was practice and welfare. And this was what we are calling bread and butter issues for lawyers. Lawyers have their own challenges. They need to have a dignified work environment. And as I was talking about this, I also talked about judicial accountability. But as I traveled around the country, some lawyers told me, Kanjama, to pursue judicial accountability, you also need to pursue the welfare of judges and magistrates, together with Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association and all other organs that pursue this interest. It is when judges have a sufficient dignity and welfare that they have energy to work and be accountable. And so I added in my manifesto, I had a number of side items. One, to do with pursuing also the welfare together as a partner of the judiciary, of judges and magistrates, because I believe accountability comes when we pursue that welfare. And so I was very delighted when I saw a few days ago the law was finally signed. It was passed and adopted of judicial retirement packages, because this is part of pursuing the welfare of the judiciary. So we'll pursue jointly the welfare of lawyers in practice and also the welfare of the judiciary. We know there has to be independence. Every judge requires individual independence. The institution of the judiciary requires institutional independence. But together with all that, stakeholders like the Law Society of Kenya will help to promote that independence and integrity and practice and welfare for all of us. And the fourth issue was engagement. I felt that the Law Society of Kenya needs to be continuously engaging with stakeholders. So these four items, rule of law R, integrity and independence I, practice and welfare P, and engagement E, form the acronym RIPE. So my slogan was the time is ripe. And I would like to say today, as we install the new principal judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, as we reflect on the strides that the judiciary has taken until today, the time is ripe for us to once again commit and dedicate ourselves to justice and the rule of law. The last thing I wanted to say is just a 1-minute reflection. When we say justice, what do we mean? When we say judge so-and-so, justice so-and-so, when we say we are pursuing justice, Aristotle said that justice means to seek, it is about fairness, is to give each person their due. The definition of justice is an active definition. It's a verb. It's something we do, not just something that we are. So we can be more just every day, justice according to the law, justice according to the facts, justice according to procedure, justice for each and every individual who comes before the throne of justice or the altar of justice, which is the courts. So I'd like to indicate that we, the Law Society of Kenya, when I take office, I'll be able to speak with more authority. Now I'm a bit of an imposter because I'm not yet taken office. I'm still president-elect. But since I'll take office in a few hours, you can say that from around 3 or 4 p.m., my remarks take effect. The Law Society of Kenya is going to work with you to actively pursue justice that can be measurable, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We know that every judge does this every day as they do their judging. We know that every court tries to do this every day in your institutional arrangements. And with your partners, we want to work together. Sometimes we will agree. Sometimes we may disagree. Sometimes we'll wait for you to give us a judgment. Sometimes we might even make some noise. And when we do so, when we have moments of disagreement, let us remember that those are just like the way we have our adversarial system that helps us to ultimately achieve justice in the court, in the appellate process, and with the men and women of this country that all of us have dedicated to serve. So as I finish, once again, congratulations to the incoming principal judge. Congratulations to the outgoing principal judge. as well as the acting principal judge, and congratulations to all of you for a wonderful ceremony that you've organized here. I beg that I'll have to leave because I have to also go for my installation ceremony. So my apologies in advance. Asanteni sana. God bless you all.
Indeed, Asante Sana, Senior Counsel, President-elect, we appreciate you making the time to be with us this morning, and all the best as you begin your term as the President of the Law Society of Kenya. Indeed, a lot to reflect on there, and one of the things he aptly mentioned is the importance of that bar bench engagement in the service of the people of Kenya. Honorable Chief Justice, allow me to recognize the presence of the Judicial Service Commission Vice Chairperson, His Excellency Isaac Ruto. Karibu sana. We'll now proceed to the Federation of Kenya Employers, and representing the Chief Executive Officer, please help me welcome Mr. Dickens Ouma. I am wishing you well.
My lady, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, allow me to ride on the protocol that had earlier on been established. In the context of modern industrial relations, hard work is often tied to the concept of decent work. This is actualized in the words of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." I have the honor to convey warm greetings from Mrs. Jacqueline Mugo, the Executive Director of the Federation of Kenya Employers, who unfortunately is out of the country in the ILO Governing Council meeting and therefore unable to join us for this important occasion. She has asked me to deliver her message and to convey her sincere congratulations and best wishes to the judiciary, and in particular to the incoming principal judge. It is a great privilege to be here as we witness this significant milestone in the installation of the Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru as the new principal judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Allow me at the outset to extend our warm congratulations. This election, by none other than your ladyship's peers, is both a recognition of distinguished service and a call to even greater responsibility in shaping the future of labor justice in our country. I also wish to pay tribute to the outgoing principal judge, the Honorable Justice Byram Mongaya, Judge of Appeal, for his exemplary leadership and contribution to the development of labor jurisprudence in Kenya. Under your stewardship, my Lord, the Employment and Labor Relations Code has grown in stature and influence, fostering a more predictable and responsive labor relations environment. We thank you for your service and wish you well in your continued judicial journey. Distinguished guests, the labor market is inherently dynamic, often characterized by competing interests between employers and employees. These competing interests, while natural, can sometimes lead to friction. It is in this context that the Employment and Labor Relations Code plays a pivotal role. We rely on the code to provide guidance by promoting fair, proportionate, and timely dispute resolution. Your role extends beyond adjudication. You are custodians of balance, fairness, and stability in the world of work. By encouraging social dialogue and suggesting practical solutions, the code helps create an environment where disputes are resolved amicably, relationships are preserved, and productivity is sustained. We are encouraged by the tremendous progress made by the Employment and Labor Relations Code since its inception slightly over 14 years ago. It has actively engaged stakeholders, including the Federation of Kenya Employers, in addressing critical issues such as the evolving challenges in the world of work, the regulation of both micro and macroeconomic growth, the interpretation of laws to balance enterprise sustainability and job security, adaptation to unforeseen global and local disruptions, and upholding human rights and international labor standards in an increasingly volatile and complex environment. This collaboration has strengthened not only the code, but also the broader industrial relations framework in Kenya. The Federation of Kenya Employers remains committed to advancing fair labor practices and sustainable economic development. As the voice of employers across all sectors of the economy, we actively engage in shaping labor laws and policies, working closely with the government, workers' organizations, and institutions such as the Employment and Labor Relations Code. We firmly believe that meaningful social dialogue is the cornerstone of harmonious industrial relations. It is through such dialogue that we create a balanced environment, one that protects workers while enabling enterprises to remain competitive and sustainable. In today's competitive labor market, reputation is everything. Employers who operate within a fair and a just system are better positioned to attract and retain top talent. A commitment to ethical practices builds trust, not only with employees, but also with customers, partners, and the wider community. A strong and credible employment and labor relations code therefore contributes directly to enhancing employer reputation and ultimately to national economic growth. To the incoming principal judge, as you assume this important office, we express our full support and confidence in your leadership. We look forward to continued collaboration in strengthening dispute resolution mechanisms, promoting social dialogue, enhancing efficiency and access to justice, and building a resilient and forward-looking labor relations framework. Your leadership will be instrumental in shaping a labor market that is fair, inclusive, and conducive to growth. As one of the key stakeholders, we shall look up to your inclusive leadership in matters industrial relations. Act in the words of the former American President Ronald Reagan, who famously said, "The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things." In conclusion, let us all reaffirm our shared commitment to fairness, justice, and collaboration. The success of our labor relations system depends on all of us, government, judiciary, employers, workers, and development partners working together with mutual respect and a common person. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Indeed, thank you very much, Mr. Wino, and even for that commitment. Oma, I beg your pardon. Thank you for that commitment to continue collaborating and cooperation with the judiciary, an important stakeholder indeed in the world of work. And I want to now invite another one from the Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU, and representing the Secretary General is Mr. Bruno Otiato. Karibu sana. Makofi tafadhali.
Thank you, Sophia. Good morning. The protocols that have been observed, Honorable Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court, Her Ladyship Martha Koome, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, also to recognize our Principal Secretary, that is Shadrach Mwadime, receive greetings from the Central Organization of Trade Union Secretary General Fanzatoli, who equally like the Executive Director of FKE is out of the country, currently in Geneva, attending the ILO governing body meeting. But I'll read his remarks as shared. And on behalf of Kenyan workers, permit me to extend the warmest and most profound congratulations to Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru for being elected unopposed to the position of Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Her ladyship, yesterday, we had a chat with the Secretary General, I think, in reference to this. And when he learned that Monica Mbaru was elected unopposed, he commended that probably this should be live on TV so that Kenyans know it is possible for, it is not unusual for anyone to be elected unopposed. So, so congratulations, Madam Lady Justice Monica Mbaru. Since joining the Employment and Labor Relations Court in 2012, COTU has seen that Lady Justice Monica Mbaru has continued to demonstrate notable sagacity, fairness, integrity, clarity of judgment, attributes that Kenyan workers through COTU hold dear and cherish deeply. Her leadership allowed me during this solemn installation also to thank the Principal Judge Emeritus and now the Judge of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Baira Mongaya, whose leadership, whilst the Principal Judge, we all agree, has left an indelible mark on the administration of justice and promotion of social justice. As Kenyan workers, we wish you Godspeed as you continue to advocate and promote for social justice in the Court of Appeal of Kenya. And at this time also, Her Ladyship, let me thank you. When the public participation was being undertaken, COTU came to you and the JSC and pleaded with the JSC to consider elevating a number of judges. Actually, we asked for 5, and you appointed, you elevated 4. So thank you so much. The Kenyan workers are happy with that decision. Her leadership, the leadership of COTU has not spared a minute every time we have a chance to address the honorable judges to remind them that the Employment and Labor Relations Court is a court that was set up to protect the weak. And today, as we install a new principal judge of this court, we wish to hearken back to this truth which we hold to be self-evident, that this court may continue to protect workers from who we believe that is from those who believe that the might is right. The installation of Lady Justice Monica Mbaru comes at a defining time when the world of work is being reshaped by digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and the emergence of new and often precarious forms of employment. And as COTU, we wish to assure Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, whose distinguished history reflects a consistent and principled stand as a defender of social justice, that we remain ready partners to elevate and the understanding of social partners on issues affecting the rights and welfare of workers. Her leadership, on behalf of Kenyan workers, we extend to Lady Justice Monica Mbaru our very best wishes as she assumes this role of leadership, and we have every confidence that she will discharge her duties with distinction. I thank you.
Asante sana, Mr. Bruno Otiato from the Central Organization of Trade Unions. Honorable the Chief Justice, I now invite Bwana PS, Mr. Shadrach Mongolo Mwadime, who's the Principal Secretary in the State Department for Labor and Skills Development. Makofi tafadhali.
Thank you, Madam MC. The Honorable Justice Martha Koome, the Chief Justice and the President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mbete Mwilu, the Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, the Honorable Judges here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor and privilege to join you this morning on this, or rather this afternoon, on this important and solemn occasion, the installation of the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Allow me at the outset to extend my warmest and most sincere congratulations to Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru on her election and installation to this esteemed office. This appointment is not only a recognition of her distinguished judicial service, but also a clear expression of the confidence her peers have placed in her leadership at a time when the role of this court has never been more critical. At the same time, we commend and express our deep appreciation to Justice Byram Ongaya for his exemplary service as the outgoing principal judge. His tenure was marked by unwavering commitment to justice, integrity, and the rule of law, and he has made a significant contribution to the growth and strengthening of labor jurisprudence in Kenya. We thank him for his distinguished service and wish him continued success in his future endeavors. The Employment and Labor Relations Court occupies a uniquely strategic position within our constitutional and economic framework. It is here that delicate balance between the rights of workers, the obligations of employers, and the broader imperatives of economic stability is interpreted and upheld. Today, this responsibility is even more pronounced. The world of work is undergoing profound transformation, driven by technological change, increased labor mobility, the rise of the gig and platform economy, and the evolving employment relationships. These shifts are redefining how labor is organized, regulated, and protected, placing greater demands on our legal and institutional systems. In this context, the role of the court in interpreting the law, resolving disputes, and shaping labor jurisprudence is central to ensuring fairness, predictability, and confidence in the labor market. Its decisions do more than settle disputes. They set standards, guide conduct, and reinforce trust in the labor relations framework. From the government's perspective, our objective remains clear: to foster a labor environment that is fair, inclusive, and supportive of sustainable economic growth. This requires sound policy, responsive institutions, and a legal system that is efficient, consistent, and firmly grounded in the rule of law. We also recognize the important contribution of complementary mechanisms such as the Employment and Labor Relations Court Users Committee and the LRES initiative, which have enhanced access to justice through efficient and amicable dispute resolution, reduced backlog, and strengthened industrial harmony. As the ministry responsible for labor and social protection, we continue to advance reforms aimed at strengthening labor governance, enhancing protections for Kenyan workers, including those in the diaspora, and ensuring our laws remain responsive to emerging realities and aligned with international standards. These efforts are most effective when supported by a judiciary that is accessible, that is efficient, and guided by integrity and fairness. Honorable Lady Justice Mbaru, as you assume this important office, you carry not only the expectations of your colleagues, but also the trust of the nation. We are confident that under your leadership, the court will continue to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and service to justice. The government of Kenya remains steadfast in its commitment to the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary,
and the strengthening of institutions that underpin our social and economic order. I wish you every success in your tenure, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Bwana PS, for reminding us as well the critical role that this court, the Employment and Labor Relations Court, plays in the world of work, even as we witness those global shifts, even in labor relations as well. Thank you to all our speakers. I'd like us to move to the next stage to appreciate the service of our outgoing principal judge, and to take us through that session, I now invite Justice Joram Nelson Abuoda, who's the presiding judge of the Appeals Division. Karibu sana. Let's appreciate him with a round of applause as he makes his way to the stage.
The Honorable Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, may I ride on the already said protocols? And in order to save time, it is my distinguished honor to preside over this session, which is very important to the court and to all of us in the world of work, and also as stakeholders. A lot of good things have been said, and I would be spoiling if I was in the Court of Appeal, I would say I have nothing useful to add. So, but I'm not yet there, maybe soon. God's timing is the best. But anyway, having said that, I would only add that the ELRC has done a commendable job and set some good practice that I think is sensitive to our national values as a country by ensuring that we have gender balance in leadership positions. We started this when we first had our first principal judge, Honorable Nderi Nduma, who's my very good personal friend. And then thereafter I was succeeded by Lady Justice Maureen Onyango. And then we had Baira Mungaya, and now we have Lady Justice Mbaru. It's a practice that some pundits have argued that is not documented. But I say that you make your bed because it's not a written law, but it's good. It's a good thing to have an orderly bedroom. So we don't have to write down as law. So we've done that, and I think it's a practice that I would urge our co-equal courts to also engender, particularly the High Court. The High Court has since followed that, and I do hope that when Justice Eric Ogola leaves office, they would now be bringing a lady judge as the principal judge. The ELC, Judge Angote, my friend, you are not behaving well. Sorry to say that. Yeah, so I think we need to put as a practice, and it's only the Chief Justice, Honorable the President, who is by law and the Constitution the President of the Supreme Court. But I do think it's my thinking that some of these positions should be rotational, and in terms of gender, and also we don't need to elect them. We just have to agree that if it's a lady's turn, let them sit somewhere and agree on who is succeeding the rest. And for the men, the same thing. Because I think we always talk about collegiality, but if we don't do that and go into elections, campaigns come in and a lot of camps are created, which engender more divisions among us colleagues. I do urge that although the law says in certain statutes that these positions are elective, but it's my thinking that we should actually agree and have them by consensus so that we engender more equality among us. Having made those comments, I would now invite Honorable Emeritus Justice Ongaya to come to the floor and say something about the court, and once again, congratulations, Justice Ongaya. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, my Lord Judge Abuoda, my Lady Chief Justice, my lady, the Deputy Chief Justice, the PS, Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, Honorable Commissioners, the CRJ, my brother Judge Angote of the ELRC, and my sister Judge Mungai from the High Court, President of the KMJA, Honorable Judges of the ELRC and all judges present, the Registrar of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, observing all protocols. I see my honor, the Chief Registrar is present. I really want to thank each of you for finding time to be present today. My Lady Chief Justice, as I listened to the speeches, I was reflecting about this moment and what I would say. And it is at this time, like this one, that President Moi would be heard saying, kama nimekukosea, unisamee. Na kama ulinikosea, nimekusamea. But it's not such a tense moment that the president said that, because Lady Justice Kelly has been around in the transition. And Judge, I want to say thank you. And so, my Lady Chief Justice, I have always known that great achievers never sat back for things to happen to them. They always went out to cause things to happen. The moment we start thinking and doing it for others, with others, success becomes like a natural outcome. The Honorable Justice Monica Mbaru is one such person with a drive for the best of human dignity. From the outset, I bring my huge congratulations to Honorable Lady Justice Monica Mbaru. Your ladyship's unanimous election is a witness to the unity of purpose, confidence, and collegial nobility of the honorable judges of the ELRC. I thank the judges for their enduring role as pillars of the court and lovers of justice. My Lady Chief Justice, I thank you and the entire judiciary leadership for the undiluted support, encouragement, and guidance shown throughout my tenure as the third ELRC Principal Judge. You have allowed us to take initiatives and promptly approved the court's recommendations. The impact has been an explosion of innovation, responsiveness, flexibility, and people-centered delivery of justice at the court. I convey my gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice and the entire judiciary leadership for your exceptional leadership, which has created an environment where creativity thrives and success is achievable. The judiciary vision of social transformation through access to justice has continued to empower us to innovate and to pave the way for our success. Today, I confirm and bring the testimony that the forward-thinking leadership of our judiciary has been instrumental in our ELRC team's success and has fostered a culture of true innovation, consultation, cooperation, integrity, and excellent judicial service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore with a full heart that I stand before you to mark the close of my tenure as the third Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya. Over 3 years ago, I undertook this leadership role with only one aim in mind, that I might leave the ELRC and our judiciary stronger than I found it. Today, as I approach the Court of Appeal, I would like to thank that we have together achieved that goal. I trust, and as we aim higher, we have indeed built a high-performing team inclusive of the bench, the bar, the workers and employers, the civil society, the academia, the public service, and all our stakeholders for our true people-centered delivery of justice. When I took over in November 2022, the court had a backlog of 7,837 cases and over 9,800 pending matters on its books. That weight was not just statistical. Beneath all that count was a worker seeking justice, an employer eager for resolution, a family holding its breath. We owed each of them our best, and we gave them our best effort. We built a court that works through deliberate reforms. The judicial docket management system put order and fairness in case allocation and management. It strengthened the realization of overriding objectives of just, expeditious, proportionate, accessible, and affordable delivery of justice. The Chief Justice established specialized divisions which sharpened our focus. More sub-registries and court circuits were established. Digitizing our processes expanded our doors and streamlined the pace of movement. Upon reflection about the season, some pending cases as of January 2026 were under 5,000, with an outstanding backlog of 3,618. These are not just numbers. They mirror the range of lives that have been restored to certainty. We did not stop from addressing cases. We created the law itself so as to invest in it. The jurisdiction of the court was refined. We trained all our judges on international labor standards and entrenched their application in our decision-making. We embraced a constitutional and human rights approach to litigating employment and labor relations disputes. We ventured into the arena of new work, new ways of working, and new work relationships. We grew jurisprudence to cover integrity and good governance in our world of work. We refined the place of strategic and public interest litigation in workplace disputes. We went beyond the contract of service to things that make it easier for men and women, including the vulnerable, to work decently. Reviewed procedure rules were published. Practice directions were standardized. Trade union election disputes have a dedicated framework. Through our flagship project of collective participatory approach to labor justice, the Employment and Labor Relations Annual Symposium and Exhibition LRES, we have initiated a living conversation between the law, justice, and the world of work. And Your Honor, the Chief Registrar of Judiciary, I thank you for supporting this initiative through the years. The judiciary, the bar, the social partners, the academy, and all our stakeholders have submitted to social dialogue, the foundation of social justice. We have emphasized that without social justice, based on social dialogue, there cannot be lasting peace and prosperity. None of that has occurred unintentionally. It all happened because of people. My fellow judges, your persistence, your collegiality, and your courage in decision-making has been the true lifeblood of the court. To the registrar and our staff, your work is often invisible and always essential. Honorable candidate and your team, I say thank you. Honorable Chief Justice, we've had very tough times of leadership at the office, trying to think for the country, the judiciary, and then implementing it. And it couldn't happen because of the people. It could only happen because of the people. My staff, Deborah, Beatrice. Beatrice, have you checked the document? Yes, and the driver and the police officers, all of you, thank you very much. So the court assistants have worked very hard, Shalimba, Beatrice, and Kathy. Thank you very much. So the timelines would have been very tough, but the registrar, you met it. So I'm really grateful for bearing with those tough timelines. So to the bar and all stakeholders, your involvement has deepened our thinking and grounded us in the workaday lives of working Kenyans. Let us all together continue pulling and pushing to make justice the true shield and defender of our people. Let us all, at all times, be lovers of human dignity, nourished with justice. And the president of the Law Society was talking about, so what is this justice? And it sounded like saying justice is the reciprocal effect of atonement. So you say, you slapped me, you've also been slapped, so you feel good. Some kind of reciprocity. On my way out, I do so with genuine hopefulness. The court still needs more judges. It requires adequate housing in Nairobi within the concept of the Kenya Labor Dispute Center, encompassing a holistic facility for court and court-annexed dispute resolution mechanisms. Access to justice through expansion in the counties, sustainable affordability, and universal digital and ICT accessibility remains an urgent mission. Sustained trust, confidence, and integrity is a constant cornerstone. The court has to grapple seriously with the future of informal sectors, artificial intelligence, the gig economy, platform workers, and green jobs, as well as the call for the associated just transitions. These are not distant worries. They are already changing the world of work. There are workers and owners of work who seek answers from the court. My sublimation is with confidence that the court is prepared for such a future. The foundations and the pillars are firm. The people are capable. The mission remains clear. At personal level, I admit it has been extremely inspirational, engaging, and reflective flavor. My leadership virtues of honesty, humility, and magnanimity encountered a genuine test. Thank you all for working with me. It has been a privilege of my career. Again, my very special congratulations to the 4th ELRC Principal Judge, my Lady Judge, Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emeritus, for those very good remarks you made, and we really appreciate the time you dedicated while serving the court as a principal judge. It was turbulent, but you managed the ship well. It's now my humble and very challenging honor to do something that I'm not sure whether I have jurisdiction, but I'll try. Jurisdiction is a very difficult thing and very, very, very touchy. And I'm going to do it in the Anglican faith, which I profess. There's a song that I can't remember the exact word, but the writer was wondering why Jesus died for a wretch like him. But I'm not calling myself a wretch, but I'm just trying to think through it and say that now I have the very difficult duty of summoning none other than the Honorable Chief Justice to approach the bench. Yes.
Thank you, my Lord Justice Habwatha. Indeed, you have jurisdiction. I, Martha Karambu Kome, on behalf of the Judiciary of Kenya and the people of Kenya, do hereby commend Your Lordship, the Honorable Mr. Justice Bairam Ongaya, MBS, the third Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, for your distinguished service and exemplary leadership as Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. As the third Principal Judge of Employment and Labor Relations Court, between 2022 and 2026, Your Lordship has provided steadfast and visionary leadership, significantly advancing court efficiency and strengthening the overall performance of the court. Your tenure has been marked by a clear commitment to aligning the court's work with the judiciary's transformative agenda of people-centered justice. Through your leadership, the ELRC has continued to play a pivotal role in safeguarding labor rights, promoting fair labor practices, and deepening access to justice for all. In recognition of Your Lordship's exemplary service, humility, respect, indeed, you have been the epitome of our enduring contribution to judicial transformation, and I proudly, as the Chief Justice, acclaim Your Lordship as a champion of social transformation through access to justice. I therefore, on behalf of the Judiciary of Kenya, do issue you with a certificate of excellence in recognition of excellent leadership and institutional stewardship of the Employment and Labor Relations Court as the third Principal Judge for the period between 2022 to 2026, dated today, the 27th March, 2026.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Chief Justice, and I am glad you granted me authority to summon you. Now I think I won't be charged with contempt. Now I think my role has since expired, and I hereby return this to the Sophia to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Judge. Before you leave outgoing PJ, there's members of staff, Employment and Labor Relations Court. They wanted to hand over Zawadi. They are very appreciative of your service during the last slightly over 3 years, hasn't it been? Yeah, 2022. So, Registrar, the staff, karibuni sana. Before we proceed to the last session, this is your moment. Karibuni tuwa celebrate na makofi, wakija kwa shangwe, gelegele. Karibu. Let's keep going until they all get here. Yes, karibuni sana.
The Honorable CJ, the Honorable DCJ, judges, and all invited guests, good morning. Oh, good afternoon, sorry. So this is the Employment and Labor Relations Court represented across all our stations. And Honorable PJ, we have a small token of appreciation. We appreciate the drive. We appreciate the leadership. We appreciate all the support you've given us. So as a thank you to you, kindly accept. This one is a surprise. You will open it when you get you'll open it when you get home. Alongside with it, we have this beautiful shuka. The staff thought that when you're resting, after you have written your judgments, when you're relaxing on the couch, you can cover yourself so that you don't get, where I come from, we call it pneumonia. So you don't get pneumonia. So we thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Asanteni sana, you may take your seats. Thank you so very much for that beautiful gesture, honoring the outgoing principal judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. That is Honorable Justice Byram Ongaya. Indeed, Team Kubwa, Team Solid, showing up. Very beautiful. Thank you all so much for that moment. And now, Chief Justice, we have come to the core of this function today, the main event, which is the installation and assumption of office ceremony of the one and only Honorable Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. That's why we are all here today. And to take us through this, I now invite the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, who will deliver her remarks and also take us through the process. Thank you very much. Karibu sana, Honorable CRJ Makofi tafadhali.
Therefore, this ceremony serves as a beacon of growth for this very integral court. Let me first take this opportunity to recognize and thank your Lordship, Honorable Justice Ongaya, for having offered a solid, admirable leadership to the Employment and Labor Relations Court over the last 3 years. And you can see in the way that the staff have appreciated you, it's a testament that indeed you were a great leader of that court. You may recall, Your Lordship, that you were the first principal judge that I paid a courtesy call on when I assumed office as Chief Registrar, and your calm words of support grounded me in the new assignment. And today, it is my opportunity to wish you all the very best in your new assignment. May you go on to exert an even greater impact at the Court of Appeal. I have no doubt that your legendary dedication and industry have found a worthy home in the Court of Appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly join me in appreciating Justice Ongaya for his distinguished service at the ELRC. To my lady, Honorable Justice Monica Mbaru, congratulations on your election to steer the ELRC court to even greater heights. The singular fact of having won the confidence of your colleague judges to be the first among equals speaks volumes of your collegiality, distinguished service, sound jurisprudence, and dedicated leadership to this court. May this new dawn give you renewed impetus to make the ELRC court a model court, building on the foundations that have already been laid by your brother, Justice Ongaya. Let me mention that the office of the principal judge has some similarities to the office of the chief registrar, at least in the sense that it has a number of administrative roles, and your success in the administrative matters of this court will therefore be the success of my office and vice versa. And as you assume this responsibility today, I take this opportunity on behalf of the entire management team to pledge our total support and collaboration as we work towards our institutional goal, which is a society that is transformed by responsive justice. In a special way, I acknowledge and appreciate Honorable Justice Jemima Kelly for holding fort as the acting principal judge in the transitional period. Equally, I acknowledge and appreciate the contribution by the judges of the Employment and Labor Court in the overall success of the court, and I think they all deserve a round of applause. The unique jurisdiction of the Employment and Labor Relations Court puts it in a position to deal with matters that directly touch on people's livelihoods, and it is our court as workers. Before I conclude, I wish to commend the Registrar of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Honorable Kennedy Candet, who also deserves a round of applause, and his team for the commendable work for organizing this auspicious ceremony. Your diligence, commitment, and professionalism in the discharge of your duties continue to support the work of the court and the judiciary at large, and we sincerely appreciate you and wish you well. May I once again congratulate you, my lady Justice Monica Mbaru, on this new phase, acknowledging that we also shared a class together, so it is a feather for us as classmates. And I pray that the Lord may lead you in the line with the scripture in Exodus 33:13, that if your presence does not go with us, do not lead us up from here. Thank you, and may God bless you. We are now transitioning to the administration of the oath, and I would like, with humility, to invite the Honorable Chief Justice to take her place. We can appreciate the Chief Justice as she comes forward. I would also request Honorable Justice Mbaru to come forward. No, just one. Honorable Chief Justice, Section 4 of the Employment and Labor Relations Act establishes the Employment and Labor Relations Court pursuant to Article 162, subsection 2 of the Constitution. Section 5, 1A and B of the Act provides that the court shall consist of the principal judge and such number of judges as may be determined and recruited by the Judicial Service Commission and appointed in accordance with Article 166(1) of the Constitution. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 5(2) of the Employment and Labor Relations Act, and following the appointment of Honorable Justice Baira Mongaya to the Court of Appeal, the Honorable Judges of the Court on 5th March 2026 elected Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru to the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court for a term of 5 years. Honorable Chief Justice, it is important that an oath be administered to the Principal Judge-elect to instill a high sense of commitment and fidelity to the rule of law, noting that the responsibility before her is a high constitutional duty, and that is the reason we are here today. I therefore now call upon Honorable Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru to take her oath of office as the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court.
I, Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru, having been elected under Section 5(2) of the Employment and Labor Relations Court Act as the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya, and having previously taken the oath of office of Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya, do hereby solemnly reaffirm the said oath, and now I do swear in the name of the Almighty God to faithfully and diligently serve the people of the Republic of Kenya in the office of the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya, and that I undertake to hold my office as Principal Judge with honor and dignity, that I will be a true and faithful counselor to the management of the affairs of the Employment and Labor Relations Court of Kenya, and that the judicial arm of the Republic of Kenya, that I will not diverge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties, and committed to my secrecy except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as a principal judge, and that I will perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability in accordance with this Constitution as by law established and the laws and customs of the Republic without any fear, favor, bias, affection, ill will, prejudice, or any political, religious, or other influence. So help me God.
Wonderful. We now have the signing of that oath by Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru, the new Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, signing 3 copies of oath that the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary will also be transferring shortly to the Chief Justice, who has been presiding this installation and assumption of office ceremony. The Chief Justice will in turn sign each of those copies. And one of those copies, of course, will be retained by the Principal Judge. And there we have at that moment, very important signature. We'll be having a photo opportunity in just a moment, a symbolic moment. Asante sana. Congratulations. The Honorable CJ will symbolically hand over for that photo opportunity. Hand over the oath. There we have it. It's official. Congratulations. Congratulations. She will also be shortly signing the roll of principal judges. Asante sana. Honorable CJ will request you most humbly to await the vesting of the sash, but before that, Principal Judge will request you to step forward for the signing of the roll of principal judges that is being witnessed by the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary and the Honorable the Chief Justice. So that is the 4th officially in office, starting of her 5-year term as principal judge. The Honorable Chief Justice will now vest upon our new principal judge a sash. There we have it. And this, of course, one of those to be donned during judicial ceremonies, a beautiful sash. We saw one for PJ Emeritus, he's donning it, and now Principal Judge Monica Mbaru as well. Asante sana. We will now have the handing over of the instruments of governance, but before that, I invite the Principal Judge, outgoing, immediate former, if I may. He will be presenting his handover report, which accounts for his time in office for that period since he was sworn in until now. So he hands it over to the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice will then give it and hand it to the new Principal Judge, And this is a handover report accounting for his time in office to help the new principal judge hit the ground running. Where the outgoing PJ found the court, the work done, the CJ now handing over that report, which will help the new PJ in discharging her role. So there we have it. Yes, that is the way it should be. So the CJ, let's redo this. The CJ in the middle. We begin with a handover, yes, by the outgoing principal judge to the Chief Justice, and then the Honorable Chief Justice, of course, handing over, as we have it there, to the new principal judge. It's okay, it has happened. Handover ndio muhimu, sio? Yes, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Let's pause for that photo appreciation. Honorable the Chief Justice. Thank you very much, Honorable the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, and also the new Principal Judge. We'll also have a session to hand over the instruments of governance to the Principal Judge. And these are in this package here that have a copy of the Constitution. In there also is the labor law statutes, the social transformation through access to justice blueprint, court policy documents, the strategic plan, the registry manual, and the CJ talking through to the new principal judge about what is in there, what is expected, what will be guiding her in the new office. Asanteni sana. Yes, there's also the crest and the flag that will also be handed over as we bring this ceremony to a close. That is the crest. All right, asanteni sana. Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice. You may be seated. The outgoing PJ humbly may be seated as well.
It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to invite the PJ, Honorable Monica Mbaru, to come and make her maiden remarks. Congratulations, PJ.
Thank you, CRJ. And my lady, the Honorable Chief Justice, Republic of Kenya, and the Chairperson, Judicial Service Commission, Justice Martha Koome, my lady, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Vice President, Supreme Court of Kenya, Her Ladyship, Lady Justice Philomena Mbete Mwilu, the PS, Mr. Mwadime, for your presence in this ceremony. To the CRJ and your entire team, to our commissioners who have graced this occasion, including the Vice Chair of the Judicial Service Commission, the judges present from the Court of Appeal, and the PJ Emeritus, On your elevation to the Court of Appeal, you remain PJ3. And PJ1, Judge Ndu Manderi. PJ2, Judge Morino Nyango. All the judges of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. I recognize the special attendance of PJ Environment and Land Court, Judge Oscar Angote, and Judge Muigai on behalf of the PJ, the High Court. And ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, I sincerely thank all of you for attending this installation ceremony, because without your participation, this ceremony would have just been the judges. But this is a witness, together with my family members, that the oath that I've taken in your midst, it has already gone out as positive energy, and you have heard it, and I commit to it. So on our parents and great-grandparents who shared a vision of our nation through our national anthem by expressing it. There were particularly 3 stanzas, starting with E Mungu nguvu yetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi. That shield resonates today. The second stanza is more profound. Let all and one arise. Tufanye sote bidii, nasi tujitoe kwa nguvu, giving our all to the nation of Kenya. The third stanza is more profound and speaks directly to Article 162A of the Constitution, condensed at independence, crystallized in 2010, and actualized in 2012 with the appointment of the judges of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. It says, na tujenge taifa letu, ndio wajibu wetu, Kenya istahili heshima, tuungane mikono, pamoja kazini. Kila siku tuwe na shukrani. I wish at every ELRC gathering, we would sing this stanza to the full, or the entire national anthem, to remind us what our forefathers foresaw this day in those days of independence. A nation built on personal responsibility, joint labor relations at the shop floor, and every day we stand in the giving. This stanza, though composed at the time of independence, has a resounding meaning to the ELRC, ensuring fair labor relations, securing justice, and being mindful of the tripartite. The philosophy behind the Kenya national anthem is rooted on national unity, gratitude to God, social justice, patriotism, and collective responsibility for nation building. It reflects the moral and civic values that were envisioned for the nation at independence and continues to guide Kenya's identity and inspirations. I draw inspiration and insights from the anthem. My lady, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, you have gone out of your way to support the ELRC over the years. We do not take it for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great humility and deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you today, at a time when the judiciary of Kenya is undergoing one of the most profound transformations in its history. This transformation, guided by the vision of our Chief Justice, is the social transformation through access to justice, a STAJ. It calls upon us not merely to adjudicate disputes, but to actively shape a just, equitable, and inclusive society. At the center of this transformation agenda lies a simple but powerful truth. Justice must serve the people. And nowhere is this more evident than in the world of labor, where the law meets livelihoods, where rights intersect with survival, and where dignity is either upheld or denied. Those who walk to the ELRC seeking justice must go home with justice. The ELRC stands at a critical pillar in this journey. It is not just a court of law, it is a court of social and economic justice, a true court of excellence. Workplace disputes cannot be resolved by employees or trade unions alone. The presence of government, employers, employer federations or associations is necessary. Therefore, the STARG framework is anchored in its key pillars that guide the mission of the ELRC. Access to justice. Justice, as fondly spoken about by the speakers who have gone ahead of me, must not be distant, delayed, or denied. For the ordinary Kenyan worker, the teacher, the nurse, the factory worker, or the boda operator, or even the dock worker or the seafarer, access to justice determines whether their rights have meaning. The ELRC therefore must ensure that every worker, regardless of status or income, can approach the court without fear, undue cost, or unnecessary delay. The employer, too, has a fundamental stake before the court. As a matter of justice, every employer who approaches the court as a claimant or respondent should receive justice. As employers grapple with economic challenges, new technologies, evolving workspaces, virtual work, and the need to adapt to global trends, it is necessary to work with the ELRC to understand these dynamics. The government, through its agencies, is a key pillar in the tripartite. The ILO tripartite structure emphasizes partnership among governments, employers, and employees to foster social dialogue and develop labor policies. Based on the policies, the international labor standards are negotiated, which facilitate regional and national laws. Hence, at the center of the ELRC is the government, which provides guidelines for multinational enterprises and labor organizations on social policy and responsible workplace practices, facilitate the changing global context, and key instruments for promoting decent work and sustainable development. Government, employers, employees, and for connected purposes, under the STARG, the judiciary is your point of call. The ELRC is your contact for access to justice. The second pillar of the STARG is a people-centered justice. My Lady, the Chief Justice, we are all called upon to move away from rigid technical systems and embrace a justice system that listens, understands, and responds to the lived realities of Kenyans. Labor disputes are not abstract legal issues. They are deeply human. They involve lost jobs, unpaid wages, discrimination, and at times, the very survival of families. Our processes must therefore be humane, responsive, and inclusive. And indeed, the third pillar of STARG is on efficiency and timely justice. In labor matters, delay is not merely an inconvenience, it is an injustice. When a worker is unfairly dismissed, when wages are withheld, or redundancy is misused, time becomes critical. A delayed judgment can mean prolonged suffering, poverty, and instability in the country. At the judiciary, and particularly within the ELRC, we must commit as the judges, ourselves individually, and as a collective, to the expeditious resolution of disputes, effective case management, and reduction of the backlog. My Lady, the Chief Justice, and the Deputy Chief Justice, Republic of Kenya, at the time of my election, the confidence bestowed on me by my colleague judges was enormous. But the commitment and The partnership, the collaboration that I see in my colleagues was a commitment that the backlogs that we currently have, we can resolve them if we undertake not to look back. Those backlogs mean a person going home hopeless. Once we resolve those backlogs, we will have somebody going home working with justice. Equally important is the pillar of the stage on integrity and accountability. The legitimacy of our courts depends on public trust. In labor relations, where power imbalances often exist between employers and employees, the court must remain an impartial and incorruptible arbiter. Integrity is not optional, it is foundational. We must also embrace institutional excellence and specialization. The ELRC exemplifies this by developing expertise in labor law and building a coherent body of jurisprudence that reflects constitutional values. Excellence in these contexts means being consistent, competence, innovation, and responsiveness to emerging labor dynamics. Indeed, the people of Kenya in 2010 promulgated a constitution which exemplified the Article 162 courts as specialized courts. So even as we call them courts of equal status, we are expected to be specialized and to give the people of Kenya judgments that reflect constitutional values and excellence in context, consistency, competence, innovation, and responsiveness to emerging labor dynamics. And why focus on excellence? The philosophy of a court of excellence in relation to the ELRC is grounded in the idea that a specialized court must deliver high quality, efficient, fair, and socially responsive justice that advances labor rights, promotes industrial harmony, and contributes to national development. A court of excellence is therefore not defined merely by legal authority, but by its standards of performance, integrity, expertise, and impact on society. My Lady, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, the judges seated behind you have made a commitment that the ELRC will be a court of excellence and will be real-time. It is doable and it has been done. We have the example of Kisumu under the leadership of Judge Nzioki. We have had Judge Christine Bahari and Judge Radido, now Judge of Appeal, who have made that court real-time. We have Nakuru under the leadership of Judge Rika and Judge Anne Mwaure. They are real-time. It is doable and possible, learning from each other. A court of excellence is built in deep specialization. Labor relations involve complex legal, economic, and social issues that require judges with a strong understanding of employment law, industrial relations, and workplace dynamics. The ELRC therefore develops specialized labor jurisprudence, expertise in employment contracts, collective bargaining, and labor rights, consistency in the interpretation of labor laws. The specialization enables the court to deliver informed, coherent, and progressive decisions. Ultimately, a court of excellence upholds the dignity of labor, maintains public confidence in the justice system, and promotes balanced, sustainable labor relations in society. Finally, the stage pillar on inclusivity and social justice remind us that the judiciary must protect the most vulnerable. Workers in the informal sector, persons with disabilities, women facing workplace discrimination, and youth struggling to enter the labor market must all find protection within our legal system. My Lady, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, To fully appreciate the role of the ELRC in advancing social justice, we must reflect on a fundamental question. Why employment or labor relations? Labor is hired because human effort, skill, and time are indispensable to production and service delivery. Institutions, whether companies, government bodies, or non-governmental organizations, or technologies depend on human labor to produce goods, deliver services, and achieve their objectives. Labor brings specialization, increases productivity, and drives economic growth. Through employment, people earn income, support their families, improve their standard of living, and secure their future. Employment is not just an economic activity. It is a pathway to dignity, independence, and self-realization. At a societal level, employment reduces poverty, promotes skills development, and contributes to national development. It generates tax revenue that supports public services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. In essence, labor is the engine of both economic growth and social stability. However, I recognize this relationship is not without challenges. In the modern economy, we are witnessing an increasing number of redundancy driven by technological advancements, financial constraints, organizational restructuring, and globalization. Jobs are being lost due to automation, outsourcing, and shifting economic patterns. Businesses relocate, restructure, or close, leaving workers vulnerable and uncertain. At the same time, many Kenyans seek employment to meet basic needs, support their families, and achieve personal aspirations. Yet, the labor market is fraught with challenges: high unemployment, informal employment, lack of modern skills, weak enforcement of labor laws, and economic pressures on businesses. These realities often give rise to labor disputes caused by poor communication, unfair wages, and lack of awareness of rights, weak enforcement mechanisms, and delays in dispute resolution. It is here that the ELRC becomes indispensable. The judges must address these dispute resolution challenges. As a court of excellence, my shared vision with my colleague judges of the ELRC is to rise and meet these challenges by ensuring that justice is not only done, but is seen to be done. We must safeguard fair labor practices as envisioned in our Constitution and ensure that both employers and employees operate within a framework of fairness, accountability, and mutual respect. The court must also promote alternative dispute resolution mechanisms such as mediation and arbitration, which can resolve disputes more efficiently and preserve working relationships. We must encourage compliance with labor laws and support strong collective bargaining frameworks. In doing so, the ELRC contributes directly to social justice by balancing power between employers and employees, protecting livelihoods, and ensuring that economic progress does not come at the expense of human dignity. My Lady, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, Republic of Kenya, as a principal judge, I am committed to advancing this vision. I will champion efficiency in case management, strengthen institutional capacity, promote integrity, and support innovation within our courts. I will also prioritize access to justice for the most vulnerable and ensure that the ELRC continues to stand as a beacon of excellence. This calls for partnership with the ELRC judges. I cannot do this alone. Their trust in my leadership also brings a responsibility on colleague judges that we are in this together. With employers, with employees, state agencies, the Office of the Attorney General, I must thank you most sincerely Every time a matter is filed against government, we have state councils now attending religiously before our courts, filing replying affidavits. That is very, very crucial in access to justice. The office of the ODPP, I must single out this office. We enjoy a lot of prosecutions for other matters, but we have a serious gap in prosecuting labor offenses. As the ELRC judges, we know when we are enforcing DOSH, those work-related injuries, behind it, there is a problem at the workplace. Who addresses that? The office of the ODPP will be approaching your office with a lot of humility to see modalities on how to prosecute labor offenses. And as a best practice, we already have the PS labor, Mwadime here, thank you. The repository of everything employment and labor. The labor officers who previously used to prosecute these offenses, they have a lot of knowledge we can tap into. We also partner and seek to partner with the security agencies, Parliament, the Senate, the Council of Governors, and the entire citizenry of Kenya. The ERRC as a collective must be conscious of the changes in the work environment, emerging contemporary employment, gig workers in the mines, informal sector employments, trends in online virtual work and policies, labor officers and inspection of workplaces, regulation of virtual work and the attendant benefits for physical work and social protection, and the labor trends and how to adjust them, particularly for migrant workers, caregivers, and house managers in our private homes. How do we treat the most vulnerable in our midst? The importance of decent work in achieving sustainable development lies in its aim to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Productive employment and decent work are key elements in achieving fair global standards and poverty reduction through job creation, rights at work, and social protection, including social dialogue. My lady, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, Republic of Kenya, and all ladies and gentlemen present, in conclusion, the judiciary transformation agenda is not an abstract policy. It is a living commitment to the people of Kenya. It calls upon us to ensure that every worker, employer, or government agency is treated fairly, every dispute is resolved justly, and every judgment reflects the values of our Constitution. Every file that the judge handles is not just a number. E001 of 2027, there is a human being behind that file. Be conscious of that fact, judges. The ELRC as a court of excellence must lead this change, ensuring that labor, which is the backbone of our economy, is protected, respected, and valued, guided by the philosophy of our national anthem as a moral blueprint for nationhood. It combines spiritual guidance, justice, unity, responsibility, and hard work to inspire citizens to build a peaceful and prosperous nation. In essence, the anthem reminds Kenyans that a strong nation is built when its people are united, guided by justice, committed to service, and grounded in faith and shared values. The philosophy of the Sturge regarding the ELRC is guided in the idea that workplace justice is essential for social transformation, economic dignity, and inclusive development. In employment and labor relations, access to justice ensures that both employees and employers can resolve disputes in a fair, affordable, and timely manner. The ELRC therefore must protect the right to fair labor practices recognized under our Constitution, particularly Article 41. And through this philosophy, the ELRC safeguards fair wages, safe working conditions, and ensure protection from unfair terminations. employment relations involve power imbalances. And in conclusion, my lady, I think there was a repetition there. The ELRC plays a key role in ensuring that justice is inclusive and responsive to the realities of vulnerable workers. Therefore, labor justice becomes part of the country's broader development agenda. Let us therefore rise to this calling as judges of the ELRC, as the judiciary of Kenya, and build a judiciary that not only interprets the law, but transforms lives. This is my commitment. I relate deeply to Proverbs 15, 22 to 23. Without consultation and wise advice, plans are frustrated. But with many counselors, they are established and succeed. A man has joy in giving an appropriate answer. And how good and delightful is a word spoken at the right moment. Indeed, how good. I thank you.
Thank you, PJ Monica Mbaru, for the insightful remarks, reminding us about the high sense of responsibility and patriotism as espoused in the national anthem. Thank you also for laying your blueprint and commitment as the PJ of the court. Honorable Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased that today we have members of the Judicial Service Commission with us. They are our employers, and they are strongly represented here today, of course, led by my lady, the Chief Justice, as the chair, the vice chair. We also have other members of the commission. If there were 6 in number, it would have been possible to pass a resolution. Yeah, so to give the mind of the commission and remarks, I call upon Honorable Evelyn Olwande, Commissioner, to give her remarks. Karibu.
The Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, the Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, members of the Judiciary Leadership Team, allow me to ride on the protocol already established as I greet you all in the name of the Lord. Before I deliver the remarks on behalf of the Commission, allow me to invite the members of the Commission present to greet you, and so that some of us who may be here, who may not know them, get to know who they are. If you could just stand up and wave to us, please. Commissioner Mrima, you are forgetting. Thank you. Thank you. It is a pleasure to join you today for the installation and assumption of office of the Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Allow me to begin by warmly congratulating Lady Justice Monica Mbaru on her election and now installation as Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. This is a well-deserved honor, and as a commission, we have no doubt that under your leadership, the court will continue to advance its important mandate with distinction, fairness, and commitment to justice. I also wish to recognize Honorable Justice Jemima Kelly, who steered the ship in acting capacity in the intervening period. I also wish to commend the immediate former Principal Judge, Honorable Justice Ongaya, Judge of Appeal, for his diligent and exemplary service to the court. His stewardship has left a strong mark on the Employment and Labor Relations Court, and we sincerely wish him every success following his elevation to the Court of Appeal. Indeed, his elevation is significant in more ways than one. For the first time, the Judicial Service Commission nominated judges from the Employment and Labor Relations Court to the Court of Appeal. This was an important step in addressing a long-standing concern that judges serving in the specialized court, particularly the ELRC and the Environment and Land Court, had for far too long been overlooked in appointments to the higher court. The Commission remains committed to ensuring fairness and equal opportunity across all courts. As a Commission, we remain committed to strengthening the judiciary to enhance access to justice and improve efficiency. We recently appointed 100 resident magistrates, nominated 15 judges of the Court of Appeal that have since been appointed, and we are finalizing the recruitment and selection of 20 judges for the High Court and 10 judges for the Environment and Land Court, a process we expect to conclude next month. We have not forgotten the Employment and Labor Relations Court. Considering the need to replace judges elevated to the Court of Appeal and the growing demands on the court, the recruitment of additional judges is currently under consideration to strengthen the capacity and ensure timely delivery of justice in the Employment and Labor Relations Court. The Commission's commitment to the welfare of judges also remains steadfast. As you are aware, the President recently signed into law the Judges Retirement Benefits Act, making a significant milestone in advancing the welfare, dignity, and institutional support to our judges. We are equally encouraged and are happy by the ongoing case weighting survey being undertaken within the judiciary to strengthen our performance management framework. This is an important initiative, and the Commission is keen that every court, including the ELRC, is fully engaged so that the consultants develop a proper appreciation of the nature of work, the demands we face, and the realities within which each court operates. As a Commission, we continue to encourage the entire judiciary fraternity to serve the people of Kenya with utmost integrity, diligence, and humility. We must always remember that we are accountable to the people of Kenya. Public trust and confidence in the judiciary depends to a large extent on how each and every one of us conducts ourselves and how we faithfully serve. As I conclude, allow me once again to congratulate Lady Justice Monica Mbaru on her installation as Principal Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. We wish you God's guidance, wisdom, and great success as you take up this important responsibility. I now find myself having a conversation with myself along the lines of the conversation Judge Aboda was having with himself about jurisdiction. Allow me now to invite the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Kenya to come and address us. My Lady Justice Philomena Mbete Mwili. Karibu.
The only reason you get forgiven is because at the end you gave my name as it is. You began by saying I was Philomena Mwilu. That is what I am not. But you finished by saying that I am Philomena Mbete Mwilu. That's who I am. And thank you, my sister, for this. The Honorable the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, the Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru, the Principal Judge of the ELRC. Dear colleagues, honorable judges, AJOs present, our staff, and the people who decide whether or not we become judges, the Judicial Service Commission. Santeni sana and good afternoon. Now, myself and I and this court have a relationship. And you know how we began. In 2016, 2017, we used to fight on a daily basis. I am glad that you yourselves made sure that that came to an end, and well done. But the relationship continues because about a week, 2 weeks ago, I followed you to the Rift Valley where I witnessed the election of Monica as the PJ, and I thank God that I was among the first in the judiciary to extend my congratulations to your new PJ. Monica, welcome to JLT. I personally look forward to your contributions and to your leadership of this court. Now, I said many things in the Rift Valley when I met you, honorable judges of the ELRC. I won't repeat all of those, although I may touch on one or two of them. But let me say this. You are a great court. You administer the most critical of justice needs. You know that with the stroke of your pen, you can decide that one is jobless. There's nothing as painful as being unable to feed your family or to feed yourself. I said there also, which Nelson repeated here, that you seem to have an unwritten rule that after a man, it's a woman, and so on and so forth. Now, whatever rule you're using, I just like it, and so I hope you continue. But for me, it shouldn't be just a man and a woman. It ought to be a man or woman who can serve. One who knows the meaning of leadership. It's not enough to be a woman, and it is most definitely not enough to be male. In any event, what role did you play towards you being either male or female? So what will count here will be what you do with your election. But I like the practice. It is someplace in the Constitution about elective and appointive, and so on and so forth, being cognizant of the fact that all of us must be involved in these positions of leadership. And so I want, as I said earlier, repeat word for word what I said in Naivasha. But let me see if I could say something new, something for today. It is a privilege for me to join your ELRC on this auspicious occasion, marking the installation and assumption of office for your principal judge and my friend, the Honorable Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. Allow me, therefore, to once again, as I did during our recent encounter in the Rift Valley during your conference, to extend my warmest congratulations to you, Monica, on your installation as principal judge, and to you, the court, for having had the best of elections where you didn't have to fight. Your appointment, Monica, is a testament to your distinguished service and the confidence reposed in you by your colleagues on the court, the institution of the judiciary, and the people of Kenya. Now, I want you to consider this because I know what it means to you, that you have been elected and installed into this high office during Lent. If you forget anything else, don't forget that. And because of Lent, and because you now have power from your people, please exercise that power and authority only in the manner suggested by the Constitution. I said the word suggested deliberately because the Constitution of Kenya 2010 does not make suggestions. It's our true north. And so, as you exercise that power and authority that the people of Kenya have given you through these judges, please do not lord it over us. We know you are the PJ, so may I never hear, for the time I'll be around, you referring to yourself as I the PJ. We already know, because we elected you, that you are the PJ. And as you discharge that responsibility, may you never forget that you're equal to these judges. The only difference is that you fast among them. And that the power you exercise at the end of the day is equal to the power they exercise. That signature, yours, is no different from theirs. May you remember to discharge your responsibility, a big one actually, but may you remember to discharge it with humility, because you came in during Lent and because we trust that you will know that power is transient. And I wish you a long, powerful, and meaningful tenure as PJ. You and I will have private conversations about what should be done by a PJ. Until that time, allow me to honestly commend and appreciate the Honorable Mr. Justice Byram Ongaya, now Judge of Appeal. It feels nice to just call him Judge of Appeal. We grew with this man in this place. We installed him somewhere behind here, and he served well. He did. I should know. He was the most consultative PJ that I have known. And I said that in Naivasha. And I don't think he consulted all the time because he didn't know what he was doing. He consulted because you have just read for us what Proverbs say. Talk, consult. Nobody really knows everything. And if you belong to the club that knows everything, then our 1 cent might just strengthen your everything. But Judge Byram, thank you for how you steered this court. And no wonder the Judicial Service Commission found you fit and appointed you a judge of the Court of Appeal. The first time we got someone from your court, we tried. When I served, we did. We never succeeded. Well done. And I've no doubt in my mind in stating this, that whatever else JSC saw, they must have seen or heard what you had done on the court as PJ. Well done. May God walk with you in the higher court of the Court of Appeal. Your tenure was marked by diligence, intellectual clarity, and a sustained commitment to strengthening labor justice in our country. We are indebted to you for the service you rendered. To you, Lady Justice Jemima Kelly, congratulations for the 2 or so months that you held the fort at this court. You know, an acting capacity, although it has absolute power, it has a few challenges. Because you don't know whether you have power. Is power a familiar term in this country? Or how do you exercise this power? I was there for nearly 6 months myself. But I got into it myself knowing what the Constitution says. And I exercised power within the Constitution without fear or favor. I'm proud to say that the feedback we've got from your colleagues is that for that 2 or so months, you exercised power in the manner the Constitution requires. Thank you for making sure that there was no vacuum in the court as we waited for Monica. Dear colleagues, the office of the principal judge is one of profound responsibility. Beyond judicial excellence, this office calls for leadership that must guide the court towards faithful discharge of its constitutional mandate and in the continuous improvement of service delivery to the people of Kenya, who are our true employers, and on whose delegated authority, judicial authority, is exercised. The ELRC occupies a central place in our constitutional architecture, we all know that, in defining, protecting, and enforcing rights and obligations arising from labor relations. The work of this court is deeply consequential. Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 guarantees every worker the rights to fair labor practices. This right must be given life through the decisions of this court, and in doing so, the court contributes not only to the resolution of disputes, but to the shaping of the workplace, the economy, and the broader social order. Therefore, my lady, as you assume leadership of this court, please remain cognizant that the authority you exercise, like all judicial authority, is derived from the people of Kenya. It must be exercised strictly in accordance with the Constitution and the law. The national values and principles of governance in Article 10, human dignity, equity, social justice, inclusiveness, equality, human rights, and the rule of law. Those rights must find expression in the work of this court. Your judicial independence, anchored in accountability, is the bedrock upon which public confidence rests. But independence must always be matched with accountability. I've no doubt that through your leadership, these values are not only upheld, but they will be institutionalized. Our institutional vision, social transformation through access to justice, inspired by constitutional demands, requires that we as judges remain alive to the realities of those who appear before us. And although, and I said it in Naivasha also, although we are called lords, I don't know where that title came from, but wherever it came from, we must not lord it over the people that come before us. Monica, please remember that many come to this court at moments of great vulnerability, seeking protection from injustice, and we are duty-bound to deliver justice that is accessible, that is efficient, and that is sensitive to those realities while remaining firmly anchored in the law. My Lady Justice Mbaru, as you have just taken your oath today, reflect on the weight of responsibility that now rests upon your shoulders. That oath is not a mere formality. It is a solemn covenant with the people of Kenya. Let it serve as your constant guide, your true north in the exercise of judicial authority. Leadership of this court will require you to foster collegiality among judges. Now, let me tell you, that is not easy. And it will require you to strengthen administrative efficiency and to ensure that the court continues to contribute meaningfully to the broader vision of the judiciary of a people-centered, responsive, and accountable institution. To the extent that you might need it, I assure you of my full support, because on this journey, you will need support. With fidelity to the Constitution, clarity of purpose, and commitment to service, I have no doubt that your tenure will be marked by distinction and by impact. Once again, Monica, congratulations to you, and I wish you every success. Dear colleagues, dear friends of the judiciary, thank you very much for listening to me, and may the Lord God bless all of us, bless our judiciary, and bless the people of Kenya. Before I undertake my next task, let me tell everybody present that Monica and I, somebody has a basket for me. May I please have it? Monica and I belong to our social welfare association, and she is a most diligent and prudent member of that association. It is called the Sharia Circle. And on behalf of the people I left in the office, please come to the front. From your teammates, here is a congratulatory card. And it says the following. Sharia deposit taking some. We inspire, we equip, and we empower. Congratulations to you, Honorable Justice Wanjiru Mbaru, on your swearing in as the Principal Judge, Employment and Labor Relations Court. A richly deserved honor that reflects your decades of distinguished service and commitment to human rights and contribution to labor jurisprudence. We wish you great success in this new role as the Principal Judge ELRC, na tuzidi kulenga juu vile inafaa. Our people thought that you might like flowers, chocolates, books, and other things. And so on our behalf, please receive this. In welcoming the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and the President of the Supreme Court to give us our remarks.
Thank you very much. Please, may we be seated. Thank you very much, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, for presiding over this function thus far. I wish to, in a very, very special way, also to recognize our chief guest this afternoon, the Principal Judge of Environment and Land Court, Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, Employment and Labor Relations Court. My apologies. Congratulations, and we are honored to participate in this wonderful occasion. I wish to also recognize the colleagues from the Judicial Service Commission, judges from the Court of Appeal, High Court, Courts of Equal Status, ELRC and ELC, our very special guests this afternoon who have spoken, led by our peers and representatives of our labor movements, very, very distinguished guests this afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. I thank you all for coming to join us to celebrate this great occasion. I think when the CRJ was saying if the Judicial Service Commission was for it, one of the resolutions they would have made is that let there be appointment of judges in ELRC tomorrow. But the matter is on the table, for consideration because we value the work that is going on at these courts. I received apologies from the president of the Court of Appeal and I think a few judges who were invited from that court, judges from the Supreme Court, and also judges of the High Court who are represented by the Honorable Lady Justice Margaret Muigai from the High Court, because those courts are coincidentally having meetings today, so they could not join us. So they would have loved to be with us, but they conveyed their warmest congratulatory message and regards to you, the Honorable Lady Justice Monica Mbaru. So let me begin by also adopting those wonderful speeches that have been given here to encourage you, to warmly congratulate you and the court, Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, especially on your election and assumption of office as the principal judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. The Secretary General of Court, through the speech read here, said something very profound about the peaceful, orderly elections by the ELRC and said there is something for the nation to learn from these courts, that you had peaceful, fair, orderly elections. And coming at a time when the nation is very anxious and volatile because of elections, he actually made a very profound statement. So, for my sister, Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, your election is very well deserved. I have known you for the last 30 years when we worked in the trenches in Finda, when you were representing the vulnerable and seeking social justice at Kituo Sasheria and at Finda. And therefore, I am very confident that your leadership will build upon the strong foundation already laid by the previous principal judges of the court. We in the judiciary believe in the continuation and in building all what we have already found, beginning with JTF, SJT, and now STARCH. We keep building. We do not believe in demolishing, but looking at where there are gaps and seeing what positive energy we can bring to make it better and create a better institution. In the same breath, I extend my sincere appreciation to our outgoing principal judge, the Honorable Mr. Bairam Ongaya, who has taught us a lot for the period that he has been a PJ. He taught us respect, humility, hard work, as the DCJ said, consultation. Under your stewardship, Justice Bairam Ongaya, Justice of Appeal, the courts, the ELRC, recorded notable growth in both the quality of jurisprudence and institutional performance. It is through your leadership that we were able to understand clearly docket management, which has now been adopted by the entire judiciary. That if you are a judge or a judicial officer, what is your docket? And you have seen that play very well during the interviews, because when candidates come, they tell us, we have this number of cases in our station. We ask, what is before you and what have you done as a person? We've learned a lot from you, and you have helped us also with a very impressive case clearance rates and improved service delivery. And for that, we are grateful. We are not the people who are not grateful. Judiciary, we are grateful and we believe in celebrating our own. We also want to extend our very warm gratitude to the Honorable the Justice Jemima Kerry for holding the fort during this transition. Transitions are very painful and they bring anxious moments, but you came in calmly, and whatever issues they were, you were able to resolve in a very collegial manner, very consultative with your colleagues, and you steered the wheels of justice until now that we have handed over to the PJ. Thank you very much. We appreciate this. So, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, what we are witnessing today, the transition in leadership, offers a moment for reflection on the very critical role of our ELRC within our constitutional order. Everybody has spoken and said how important this court is. As a specialized court, this court occupies a unique and critical space in advancing industrial justice, ensuring fairness in the workplace, promoting harmonious labor relations, and giving practical meaning to the constitutional vision of a socially just society. Over the years, the Employment Labor Relations Court has made commendable strides in developing a very dynamic labor jurisprudence that balances social justice with economic growth. It has ensured that labor law remains humane, that our labor law remains responsive to the needs of the workers, while also safeguarding Kenya's position as a very competitive and attractive destination for investment. This delicate balance is essential for national development. As we look to the future, this court must position itself at the frontier of emerging labor realities, responding to the rise of platform work, safeguarding dignity in the workplace, addressing the implication of technology and data in employment relations, and ensuring that justice is accessible to the most vulnerable workers in our society. And in doing so, the court must not only resolve disputes, but also shape a forward-looking jurisprudence that is responsive to Kenya's social and economic transformation. Equally commendable is the court's performance in service delivery. Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, you are inheriting a court that achieved a very impressive case clearance rate of 132% in resolving cases, which means that you resolved more cases than the cases which were filed by 32%. And this is a remarkable achievement, which we recognize because you reduced backlog by 32%. This achievement reflects deliberate efforts to embrace innovation, leverage technology, and also you have adopted the multi-door approach to justice, particularly in mediation and conciliation. Honorable Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, you assume office at a time when this court is firmly on a trajectory of becoming a center of excellence in judicial service delivery. The expectation is that under your leadership, the court will consolidate these gains and move decisively towards achieving our strategic target under the STARGE blueprint, that is, no case should remain in the trial court for more than 3 years. This target is within reach as at the end of last financial year, only a small number of cases, that is 425 cases, remained in the court system, having exceeded the 3-year threshold. I read that report very keenly, which I've handed over to you, and I believe with focused leadership, effective case management, and targeted interventions, and even drawing from your speech, very profound speech this afternoon, the ELRC can realize this goal in not as very distant future. So, colleagues, today we have installed our principal judge, and she has become a member of our judicial leadership team. But even before then, we underscore always as JLT the principle of shared leadership that lies at the heart of the blueprint, our social transformation through access to justice. Leadership in the judiciary, as the DCJ has espoused, is not vested in one individual, because you as one individual, there is very little you can do. You have so many courts going on at the same time. So it is a collective responsibility that we all exercise ethical conduct as the principal judge, together with other judges, judicial officers, and staff. We all must act as drivers of excellence, championing performance, innovation, and accountability. Kenya expects a judiciary that delivers justice efficiently, fairly, and without delay. Your court is on the front line in resolving labor disputes. It must therefore remain as the court that is practical, that is innovative in getting solutions that enhance timely access to justice. This is the essence of our people-centered justice. To achieve this, we must continually rethink how we manage our courts. Our blueprint, the social transformation through access to justice, encourages court-based and localized innovations. And that's why you see us leaving the courts to be as innovative as possible. And we have drawn a lot of benefits from this. I therefore urge the court to re-examine your processes, streamline procedures, and embrace new ways of working that enhance efficiency and responsiveness. In addition, the court must continue to lead in the development of a jurisprudence that is socially responsive, that is also indigenous, resolving our own problems, and grounded in our constitutional values. Such jurisprudence must, ladies and gentlemen, serve the interests of employers, employees, and the broader society, while also contributing to the global development of our labor laws. We must embrace technology, which remains a key enabler of judicial transformation. I therefore urge the ELRC to take a leading role in advancing a paperless judiciary, expanding the virtual hearings, and fully leveraging digital platforms to improve access, efficiency, and transparency. The gains we have made through the e-filing and virtual proceedings must not only be preserved, but deepened. At the same time, the court should continue to strengthen its commitment to the multi-door approach to justice. We commend the progress you have made in embracing mediation and conciliation as provided for under the Employment and Labor Relations Court Act, and the virtual tools you have embraced for expeditious and amicable dispute resolution. These mechanisms not only ease the burden on the courts, but also promote sustainable and mutually beneficial outcomes. Our PJ, Honorable Lady Justice Monica Mbaru, as you take this important responsibility, I have welcomed you most warmly to the Judiciary Leadership Team, and we look forward to your contribution in that leadership forum. You can count on our full support, myself, the DCJ, all the other PJs, and all the leaders of the judiciary. We will give you, if there is 200% support, that is exactly what we will give you, because we want you to succeed. Once you succeed, we all succeed. Once you succeed, the court succeeds and the people of Kenya succeed. I have every confidence that under your leadership, the ELRC will continue to set the standards in judicial excellence, innovation, and service to the people of Kenya. I want to thank everybody who organized this auspicious occasion. I have myself been very, very busy, and I'm so, so grateful that everybody who put their efforts and time and even prayed for this occasion contributed to the success today. I'm very, very grateful that we all joined hands to celebrate, inaugurate, and participate in the swearing-in ceremony of our PJ, Lady Justice Monica Wanjiru Mbaru. Congratulations once more. God bless you, God guide you, and God shine his light upon you every day. And may you find favor in everything you do. May you also find favor with your colleagues and all the people who work at ELRC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chief Justice, for that inspiring and thought-provoking address this afternoon, challenging us on the ideals of justice and indeed a recommitment to being servants of justice and holding up to the values of excellence. Thank you so very much. We will have the national anthem to formally close this ceremony, and thereafter the lowering of the judiciary mace. Let's remain upstanding for the lowering of the mace by the Honorable Registrar of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. And that formally marks the closure of this ceremony. I request us to be seated briefly as we bring this to a close. We will be having a brief photo session. Before I invite my sister to take us through that session, in Africa, after such a beautiful ceremony, we've had the speeches, we have been motivated, we have been encouraged, we've celebrated our new principal judge. We will crown it with some food. So allow me to do my last duty here, which is the good news of how we will proceed for lunch. And our front, first and second row, of course, our esteemed judges, all the speakers and the family of the principal judge. We will proceed to the judges' lounge on the 4th floor. To the Magistrates Lounge, we will host there our registrars, directors, our judicial officers, and all our esteemed stakeholders.